Hi guys, so let's have a look at creating a really simple rig. We're going to make a rig for this arm to control and animate this robotic arm that I've done here. Okay, so I'm going to set up in the 4-panel viewpoint. I'm going to move over to the rigging menu on the left hand side, and at the very top all the menus will change, and I just want to click on this one that says skeleton and create joints. Now moving into one of these views, the side X view is the one that I'm going to use. I'm just going to click at the bottom, middle and top of the arm joint, so at the base where the shoulder will be, at the elbow and at the wrist. I'm just going to quickly go to shading and X-ray in the viewport so I can see my actual joint and the bones that I've created behind the meshes. I'm just going to move these bones around. I'm going to place them a little bit more central to the joint. Okay, so you'll see that there. Cool. I'm just going to keep doing that in the other views. Change to X-ray so I can see what I'm doing. Make sure it's quite central. Okay, and you'll probably want to do the same thing here as well, guys. That feels about central for me. I could use snapping, but I'm not going to bother with that. This looks okay over here. Still hasn't changed. Good. I'm going to place this a bit lower. In fact, I'm going to add another joint. So I'll go to skeleton again, create joints. Just click at the top for the tip of the finger. And then I'm going to change to select mode, shift select my other one and click P, and that's create another bone and joint, and it's connected them together. Okay, so to parent one joint to another creates the bone in between. So you can kind of see that there. That's looking quite nice. This needs to come down a bit. Actually, now I'm going to just place it in line with the actual ball joint of the wrist. Nope, I'm going to bring it down actually. I want to create like a kind of a finger bend joint, so that's got to go where the knuckles go. One more bone, the tip of the hand. Let's just quickly place that. Okay. Shift select the other joint. P for parent. Yep, creates the bone. Okay, so we've got that, and now I'm going to select all my objects and I'm going to skin it. In fact, this is incorrect and it's going to create some issues. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just skip forward to where I've fixed this. Instead, I want to combine this object so that it's ready to go, okay? Because you can see it's created an error there. So I'm going to cut forward to where I combine all the meshes into one mesh, and then I bind it from there. Yeah. Ooh, it's awful. See, it's terrible. Okay, so give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to cut. All right. So here we go. We've got our mesh. We're going to combine it now. Make sure everything's frozen first before you do it. So freeze the transforms, delete the history, select the mesh, not the joints. You notice here there's some NURB circles, which we just use to create NURBs. These are going to be our controllers. Okay, so I created one mesh. Hurrah, everything's good. I've got my root and I've got my controllers. Okay, I'm just going to freeze all the transforms on the controllers as well, so that everything's got zeros on it. Nice and clean, perfect. You'll see also at the bottom that I've added another joint. That's going to be the root joint. So I select the bottom joint and the mesh, and then I go to skin, bind skin. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to select the mesh and go to skin, paint weights tool, and then open up the tool settings. And you'll see here on the right we've got the paint weights tool. Okay, so select the skin, select the paint weights tool, and then click on your joint, and then we're just going to flood it. Use the color ramp. Oh, and make sure the value is set to one there. Okay, so you see it's flooded at white. White means it's got 100% influence. Okay, So which means that this bottom joint called useless 1 is going to have 100% influence. And when we change to the base joint, it's gone completely black, which means it has 0% influence. So now what I'm doing is, you can see I'm painting, yep, just checking those, just painting in influence onto this joint. So what I'm doing now is, I've changed from the mode from paint to select, and I'm selecting, I'm double clicking on the mesh to select that entire mesh. Yep, and now I can only paint on that mesh, I can't paint anywhere else. You see that? So for now, it's just been painting on that mesh, because when we combine all our objects, we combine them, but they weren't like welded together as one complete object. These are separate meshes. Okay, so I'm busy painting this in. White is 100% influence, so from this bottom bone here, the bottom joint, I'm painting 100% influence into it, so that this bottom joint, which I've selected blue, you can kind of see it there, has 100% influence over this joint. Which means that when I move the joint, you'll see in a second, I think that's about right. So if I move the joint, let's just see, yeah, oh, see, it's coming along with the movement of that joint here, and the other bone isn't doing anything. Okay, so if I click on the elbow, just click on the elbow, please, and click anywhere onto the actual viewport. Go back to select mode, select the next part of the mesh up, go back to paint. Don't mind me here, I'm getting confused here. Now just paint in. Yep, just quickly. And yeah, really good. Wow. Okay, so this bone is complete. This mesh is now completely bound to the next joint, the elbow joint. So when I move it, it's going to move along with the elbow joint. Notice here that I'm making a bit of a mistake, and what I'm doing now is I'm painting 100% influence from the base as opposed to the wrist. So I'm being a complete idiot here. But it's fun to watch me be stupid. Isn't that fun? Okay, so here I go, making a complete mistake. I'm really enjoying myself. Completely foolishly thinking I'm doing a great job. Yeah, really struggling to get those last vertexes painted. Oh, it's perfectly. What's at the bottom? Well done, Luca. See, so I noticed that I've got influence on this bottom joint. Look there. Yeah, I figured it out. So back to wrist. Select. Yeah, selected. Yeah, paint. Alright, undoing my idiocy. Alright, I might be the teacher, but I can make mistakes too. Alright, so busy just cleaning up my mistake. It only takes 2 minutes to paint this in very quickly. And again, I'm painting in 100% influence white, so that this has complete control. Yeah. So that one joint has complete control over this entire mesh. Okay, done. Beautiful, glorious. I'm now looking to create the bend for the fingers. So I need to reduce my brush size and paint the 100% influence at the very tip, because as I bend the tip, it's going to pull all of these vertexes along with it. So yeah, and then I'm giving a bit, but not a lot of influence to these bottom, like these little joints in the middle here. You can see I've got some, like, quite a few lines and vertexes and edges to support that. I'm going to bring down the value, not the opacity, but the value, just for now, to about, no, being a bit of an idiot, that's probably the wrong value there. Maybe like to 3, something like that, 0.3. Okay, that's a bit better. Paint it all in. Give it some, yeah, and then back up to 100%. Just going to clean up the bottom part here for the knuckles. No, I'm being a bit of an idiot here, I think. Yeah, just gently bring it in so it's just heading towards that hot colour there. Click, click, click. Click, 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 click. Okay, getting close. Back to the knuckle. change the value back down to yeah, around there. Just click on that there. Cool. That works. Back to 100%. Back to the wrist. Just to clean that up a bit. Yeah, that'll do. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, that kind of sorts it out really now. And now we'll have a nice little bend if I just test that real quick. It's not really perfect. I mean, this is a very, very basic mesh here that we're going to use. So, yeah, a wibble wobble there. In the other direction. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, let me just undo that and try like locking it off on the blue axis. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so not exactly perfect, but you know, does the job, at least for now. Okay, so we've bound the skin to the bones. We've painted the influence of the bones to the mesh, and now we're ready to create the control rig. So first things we want to do is we want to go and create an IK handle. You can kind of see it here. So we go to skeleton, create IK handle, click the shoulder joint, and then click the wrist joint. Select the IK handle, select the hand controller, and press P for parent. Okay, I've created a few little issues here. It's not going to work perfectly, I don't think. Okay, so actually, you know, it's okay. It does the job. Thought I'd done it wrong for a sec. Okay, so once you but you see the IK handle doesn't really control this. In fact, I'm not even telling you what I'm doing. I'm such an idiot. What I'm going to do here is I take the control, which is the nerve circle, and I'm going to then shift select the bone, and then I'm going to go to constrain, orient to constraint. You can see that there. And this is not doing what I'm thinking it's supposed to do. Let me just... well, it's spinning it, but it's not doing what I actually want it to do. No, okay, there's something wrong. What have I done wrong? Check the hand controller maybe. What have I done? Do you know what? I'm just going to start this again, just really quickly. Maybe I've made a mistake here. Hold on. So create the IK handle. Select your... Create the IK handle. Select your controller, then the handle for the IK handle, and click P for parent. I'm having a bit of an issue here, sorry. Make sure you've frozen your transforms and everything's zeroed out. Select your hand controller, select the I. Select the IK handle, select the hand controller, and press P for parent. Press P for parent, yeah. And you'll see that, yeah, the hand controller 1 has now got parent control over the handle for the IK joint. Okay, so that works. And it's not messing around this time. I knew I'd made a mistake before. Alright, so go into your bones, go to the elbow joint, go to the wrist joint, make sure everything's there, yep, okay. Alright, select the wrist joint. You can see here when I try and control it, it's a bit broken. But that's because that controller, the nerve circle, has control over the position. So when I grab the controller, it works. But when I don't grab it, it starts breaking the rig. So take the hand controller and the wrist bone joint. Having a bit of an issue here. Click, click, click. Select the wrist joint, select the hand controller, constrain, orient, constrain, and now it's going to work. Yes, okay. Alright, so the orient constraint helps take the rotation values for the wrist. So go to constraint. Sorry, you need to take your elbow controller and your IK handle, and you need to do a pull constraint. You see this little green line shoots off from the bones. Now when I move the elbow controller, it changes the points of the elbow. Cool. So now we have complete control. This is the rig's done. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Alright. So I'm just going to quickly clean up all of this stuff over here. Just name it properly and